They pitched well lifetime against Houston, 7-1, and trying to extend his winning streak.
And speaking of pitching, we'll have a chance to hear from Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, Houston and St. Louis. A look at Dunk is next. Manager, and behind Tony La Russa is arguably the best pitching coach the game of baseball has ever seen. Dave Duncan has spent nearly half of his life working with pitchers. Fairly impressive for a man who never actually threw a major league pitch. But in his 30th season as a pitching coach, 14th with the St. Louis Cardinals, the former catcher does have a PhD in helping transform journeymen into indispensable million-dollar pitchers. Through 5 pennants and 2 World Series titles, Duncan and La Russa have always worked well together because they're so similar in their approach.
Well, we both have the same goals. You know, we love the game of baseball. We both enjoy winning, and it's a challenge to do everything you can do to put your club in a position to win.
Duncan and La Russa have had incredible success together, and the friendship they established while playing in the Kansas City organization together back in 1965 is why they've been able to accomplish so much.
We were pretty good friends before we started working together, so you know, I mean, you don't think that early on, you don't think about that far in the future, but you know, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of success together and a lot of enjoyable moments, so it doesn't surprise me that we've been together this long.
Duncan has been a part of Major League Baseball for 45 years and has caught or coached 7 Cy Young winners. But even more impressive has been Duncan's ability to take average Major League pitchers and turn them into winners. Oftentimes, it's a very simple fix. He helped Kyle Loesch avoid tipping his pitches. He won 15 games last year. He convinced Joel Pinheiro to rely more on his sinker. Pinheiro now owns one of the best ERAs in baseball. Over the last quarter century, La Russa has watched Dave Duncan work with a variety of pitchers, and each pitcher Duncan worked with made him better as a coach and mentor.
There isn't anybody he hasn't helped. I think that's, if there's one way to describe Dave Duncan, is he's an absolute complete pitching coach. You can't give him a pitching problem that he can't deal with. I mean, I've seen it for all these years. Right, left, young, old, starter, reliever, quiet guy, loud guy. I mean, whatever you come up with. I mean, it's not just mechanics, it's not just strategy, it's not identifying how to attack hitters. It's not just confidence. I mean, this guy is absolutely complete. So I've seen him potentially help everybody.
From Lamar Hoyt to Blake Hawksworth, from Bob Welsh to Adam Wainwright, Dave Duncan has always been willing to work with a pitcher as long as the pitcher is willing to listen. So what does the future hold for a man who's been a pitching coach since before most of his pitchers were born?
Well, we'll wait and see. You know, I'd like to think about this year, and I think we have a legitimate shot at winning this division, and put all the effort forward to do the best we can to do that.
In the last 30 years, Dave Duncan has been remarkable at teaching pitchers to analyze and exploit opponents' weaknesses. For some pitchers, success was easy to find. For others, it's still a work in progress. But La Russa may have said it best when he called Dave Duncan the Albert Pujols of pitching coaches. Now that's quite a compliment. All-star third baseman Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals come to the Gateway City. Finally, it's Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun trying to make a last push for the Brewers in 2009. The first-place club has been reconstructed for the stretch drive. The additions of Julio Lugo, Matt Holliday, Mark DeRosa, and John Smoltz give the Cardinals the look of one of the best teams in the major leagues. Always fun when these two get together. A Central Division showdown starts tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Houston Astros. Game 1 next on Fox Sports Midwest. for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Auto Tire, for the lowest prices in town, we shop the competitors so you don't have to. By Chevy, see your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Live look just outside of Busch Stadium. Another big crowd expected here tonight. 9-game homestand beginning here this evening. And let's meet the lineup now for Cecil Cooper and the Houston Astros. The speedster, Michael Bourne, who's hitting .291, will lead it off. And then the All-Star, Hunter Pence. Perennial All-Star, Lance Berkman. Carlos Lee closing in on 100 RBIs. All-Star here in '09, Miguel Tejada. Jeff Blum, Kaz Matsui, Humberto Quintero, and Wandy Rodriguez, the pitcher, hitting 106. And the Cardinals have one of their best on the mound tonight. His number's brought to you by Marshall Wireless and its right-hander, Adam Wainwright.
Adam's trying to become Major's first 15-game winner. He has the 5th best ERA in the league. His home ERA is 2.02. That's 5th best in the league. And his night ERA is 2.10, the best in the National League.
They have a stat for everything. Nice ERA. Holiday, Rasmus, and Ludwig in the outfield. DeRosa, Ryan, Lugo, and Pujols along the infield. And it's Wainwright and Molina, the battery, presented by Auto Tire. Well, the last time that we saw the Astros, no Lance Berkman in their lineup. And he is such a difference maker, as we've seen over the years, a switch hitter. This is our Domino's first pitch of the game. Wainwright to Michael Bourne. And a fastball misses just outside. First pitch at 7:16, and it is 78 degrees. 78 degrees here in late August in St. Louis, Missouri. This is how you draw it up. It is perfect.
Bruce Fromming, now retired as an umpire, but one of the supervisors asked me tonight, he said, "Is this the coolest summer you've seen in St. Louis?" And I said, absolutely.
No doubt. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Bourne, the center fielder. Looks at a strike on the outside corner. Now Bourne is saying, wait a minute, first pitch of the game was a little better than that, and that was a ball, and this one is a strike, and now he's in the hole 1-2.
I was about to say, if Wainwright gets that call all night, the Astros are in trouble.
There's that patented curveball, which has just been terrific as this season has gone along. His fastball has gained in velocity, but the curveball has really been great.
And, you know, he is now has 2 mentors on this pitching staff. Early in his career, it was John Smoltz with the Atlanta Braves. Carpenter's been a big influence, and they're all feeding off each other.
Inside to Bourne. And Wainwright, as we have seen this year, has gone very deep into games. And there's a look at John Smoltz, who's also a pseudo pitching coach inside that dugout for the Cardinals as he met with the local media today. This one is slicing it to left center. Colby won't get it, and Bourne can really run. On his way to second base, and he'll stop there. So leadoff double for Michael Bourne. Tonight's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching tonight in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and thank you for your service. So a leadoff double for the 26-year-old Michael Bourne, who grew up an Astros fan, and now it's Hunter Pence. Pence has 57 RBIs. So a lot of curveballs you might remember in that previous series from Chris Carpenter, and in many ways looked like he was just carving up Hunter Pence. So you would probably anticipate the same here tonight.
Hunter really struggled on the recent homestand, only batting 125.
Overall hitting .282, the 0-1 pitch. There it is again.
He's had 5 home runs his last 11 games, but you can get him to swing wildly at pitches out of the strike zone.
Boy, that's just nasty right there.
Well, it's a very good pitch, and he's sort of a free swinger, so you can take advantage of that over-aggressiveness.
Lance Berkman
trying to elevate the ball. Molina giving a target high.
Berkman on deck. The curveball, and that's in the dirt and kept in front by Yadier Molina.
Apparently he was just trying to get get Wainwright's attention.
The Cubs hosting Washington tonight. Milwaukee and Cincinnati playing, and Pittsburgh to round out the Central, trailing already against the Phillies in the bottom of the fourth. Pence reaching for it, slowly hit, and that will roll foul. It's touched there by Mark DeRosa. We did not, of course, do the game on Sunday. That was on Channel 5, but this ballpark is still buzzing about that guy right there, John Smoltz, as he struck out at 1 point, 7 straight, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts in the game.
Well, the interesting thing is you just look at his breaking pitches. You know, he had life on his fastball, mid-90s fastball, but look at the sinking action. The slider, the split finger, everything was working, and he felt awfully good about that outing. You talked to Dave Duncan, you talked to Wainwright, Carpenter, and he threw on the side Thursday. They all said he's going to help us.
Little chopper left side. DeRosa over to first to get Pence, and Bourne has to stay put at second. And Smoltz was talking about that slider. He said his slider felt as good as it's ever felt, which is such a key pitch for him.
Yeah, he just always had an outstanding one, but that splitter is a neutralizer, and just his competitive spirit, his knowledge of what he wants to attempt to do, but he got the results, and you know he can build off of that.
I don't know other teams, and maybe you do, Al, that have their starters go out and watch each other in between starts in their bullpens. Between the starts, every 5th day, of course, they'll pitch in live action, and they pitch between those starts, and all the starters will go out there and watch each other pitch. Now, in doing so with Smoltz, Chris Carpenter, who you see pictured there on the right, also picked up something that he was doing working from the stretch. As they looked at video too, they felt he was tipping his pitches. We've heard that before.
Right, but this is something I think they've done, you know, collectively, not under orders, but just all wanting to help and improve each other. Cardinals pitching staff has thrown the most innings in the National League, and you know that gives you a lot of wins and helps out that bullpen. They're second in win total from the starters, most innings.
So here's the switch hitter, Lance Berkman. Very deep in the box, and it looks like he's standing away from the plate a little bit more than usual. He seemed far off the plate right there. They go inside, and that would scare me there. That looks like it's going right into his wheelhouse.
Yeah, not necessarily we're accustomed to seeing him on the back line, but I do believe what you're talking about is maybe a little bit further away from home plate. So it seems like he has to really reach out there to get to the outside part of the plate. Maybe an indication that he feels that Wainwright has always used that cutter or something coming in on him. Now he gets it more on the sweet part of the bat. It's one of the things I used to always do as a pitcher. I'd watch the hitter's feet, see if he changes patterns, and, you know, trying to make an adjustment against you.
2-1 pitch. Hold foul.
A lot of times, if a guy were to move away from the plate, you just keep on following it. You bury that pitch further in, and you know he'll swing at it. Gives him the illusion that he thinks he's getting good wood on it, but yet you're still jamming him.
There's a good look at it there. He's a good 2 feet off the plate and deep in the box. A 2-2 pitch to Berkman. Popped up left side.
Still got it in on him.
Yep, DeRosa makes the catch. And there's 2 away, and it brings in Carlos Lee. So Berkman retired for the second out.
Kind of didn't get it out on the sweet part of the plate. Looked like it was out there in the middle of the plate, but got underneath it, pops it up.
Now Houston ranks 3rd in the National League, 288 batting mark. That's 4th in the league as far as hits are concerned, and the highest batting average by an Astros team since 2004. Carlos Lee on pace to hit 300 with 20+ home runs and 100+ RBIs for the 3rd consecutive season, all wearing that Houston uniform.
It's a rarity for Houston. There have been a couple guys to do that, have 3 solid seasons of 300 average, 20 home runs or more, or 100 RBIs.
Jeff Bagwell did it. Moises Alou, you might remember, he played with Houston. He's had 20 home runs in each year of this decade.
And for a home run hitter, he still is the 3rd toughest batter in the National League to strike out.
That'll roll, and it'll stay foul. We saw earlier this year a ball started foul like that with all the English and the spin, came back in fair territory. That was in Florida.
But you'd like to see Lee just run it out. Don't take anything for granted. Just hustle down that line. And wasn't that another aspect that John Smoltz helped himself? Running hard, avoiding the double play, and extended the inning. And then they had that, a couple runs, a crooked number scored there and helped his own cause.
Has to feel good not only to know that he can still get people out, but to do it in your first game with a new team.
Automatically, kind of the credibility and know that you can help somebody in a pennant race.
Here's a 1-2 pitch by Adam Wainwright. Misses. 2-2. That's now 20 pitches here in the first inning. The Astros are 10 games out, and on the road they're 7 games below the 500 mark, and they're 7 games below 500 against the rest of the Central. And a swing and a miss. Leadoff double, but they can't cash in. Wainwright gets his first strikeout. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. To move to the bottom of the first, and the Cardinals lineup reads like this, with Lugo, Ryan, and Pujols, Holiday, Ludwig, DeRosa, Molina, Rasmus, and Adam Wainwright. And the Cardinals face a really tough lefty that's given them fits in the past. This is our Marshall Wireless starter for the Astros, and that's Wandy Rodriguez.
30 years of age, his career high wins with 12 this season. He's eliminated opponents to 1 run or fewer in 8 of his last 9 starts, and owns a 6-1 record, 2.14 ERA during that time.
What stood out about the road trip, and Al, you mentioned it during the open tonight, the fact was the Cardinals really didn't hit all that well. In particular, 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup. They only combined for 3 home runs and 10 RBIs during that 7-game road trip.
The team batted .223 on a 5-2 road trip because of the great pitching. But I will say this, these pitchers no longer feel that they have to throw a shutout or can only allow 1 or 2 runs.
And this pitch is popped up off the bat of Lugo. Backing up, Miguel Tejada makes the catch.
So a lot of times you go out there knowing that you've got some margin for error, and because you're so relaxed, you end up pitching a heck of a game.
Look at the defense behind Rodriguez tonight. Lee, Bourne, and Pence in the outfield. The infield is Blum, Tejada, Matsui, and Berkman. And the battery, Rodriguez and Quintero. Astros defense presented by Auto Tire. See where Rodriguez, as opposed to the 6'6" Wainwright, different landing area. And he was out there digging away at that hole.
Well, he's not very tall, so probably he was landing, you know, at the beginning of his landing area and maybe falling into a little bit of a hole.
Up the middle and a base hit for Brendan Ryan. Edging closer now to 300 is Brendan.
Watch the very first pitch of the game. His landing area. See, he falls there, and look at it just slide into the landing spot of Wainwright. So that's why he's trying to do a little manicuring on the mound. And Brendan Ryan continues his good hitting. Now has a 7-game hitting streak.
What is shocking is the numbers that have been put together by Albert Pujols this season against Houston. Usually it's the other way around, but Albert this year hitting 133 against the Astros.
You know what his average is against Wandy Rodriguez?
No home runs against Wandy, I know that.
How about 120?
Wow.
The lowest batting average of anybody in the major leagues that's had at least 20 at-bats against Rodriguez.
That's chopped left side. Fair ball into the corner. Brendan Ryan on his way to third. Oquendo waving him in. Relay by Tejada, no throw. Albert drives in the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. And Albert's saying, Dan, Al, keep telling me those numbers. I'm going to change them real quickly.
Well, we hope so. Now, he did have a 2 home runs, 7 RBI game against Houston, but only 2 hits in the other 8 games. But another double in here, and he's closing in on 3rd place on the all-time doubles list. And every time you talk about a number with Albert, it seems like he's getting ready to pass a Hall of Famer, and that is his 107th RBI of the year.
I'd be curious over his career, the numbers of the day after a day off. It just seems like, you know, because he plays so much, that one day off really does do him a lot of good.
Energizes him. Remember, we were talking Saturday night about, I think it would be a time for Tony to possibly rest him.
A 2-for-1 if you rested him Sunday, and of course off day yesterday. The Cardinals will have another off day coming up next Monday.
That's Albert's golf tournament, so I know he'll come back on a tear from it.
Matt Holliday bounces it to third. Jeff Blum looks back Pujols, and that's out number 2. The key in this game, watching Wandy Rodriguez perform on the road. This is brought to you by Toyota. This is since July 21st. 3 home starts, 3-0, .41 ERA, and the ERA in those 3 road starts, 7.20.
And of course, you look at Wainwright, it's how do you figure that he has a losing record at home with an ERA at 2, and he's 9-1 on the road with about a 3.50.
Here is Ludwig.
ERA. So
yeah, if you break it down, Wainwright 5-6 with a 2.06 ERA at home, and like you said, on the road 9-1 with an ERA that's about 3.5. But a lot of that comes down to run support, and Pinheiro, looking at the beginning of the season for him, didn't have any run support. Wainwright had plenty of run support. Things have evened out a little bit.
And Pinheiro, his record would be almost reversed. So many more wins with just a little bit of run support. Adam early in the season wasn't pitching real effective, but he got so much run support, he was getting victories. Then he got into a situation he was pitching lights out, but had very little run support, and reflected of that home ERA.
3-1 on Ryan Ludwig. Lefties hitting just 195 against Wandy Rodriguez. The righties 257. There's the season numbers for the Cardinal right fielder tonight.
Not uncommon for a lot of left-handed starters, but usually you kind of think of them as the soft tossing ones, and you really don't put Rodriguez in that category. You get him out over the plate, as a hitter, you start seeing something out over the plate, and then he'll run that ball in, whether he cuts it or throws a harder breaking ball. He does a nice job keeping the right-handed batters honest.
Outfield is deep. And they are straight away. Wandy's trying to pick up win number 13 tonight. Wainwright going for win number 15. Little bloop that's popped up. Matsui puts it away. Albert Pujols with RBI number 107. 1-0 after 1. Each other, and the Cardinals Tournament of Champions. Quarterfinals are set. It will be the greatest Cardinals team ever. Watch tonight on U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. We will have a visit with Shelby Miller coming up. The high school pitcher drafted by the Cardinals who threw for Tony La Russa, owner Bill DeWitt, and the Cardinals front office got a chance to see him. So we'll visit with Shelby Miller in the third. Miguel Tejada hitting .309. Had to be a little bit nerve-wracking for Shelby Miller. You got the owner there, John Mozeliak. You got Tony La Russa, John Smoltz, Carpenter watching. I mean, that's a little nerve-wracking. Tejada, deep drive into left field, to the wall, and it's caught. Last time out for Wainwright, Al, he was terrific in that 3-2 win for the Cardinals. He took a no decision, 7 innings. Only mistakes he made, a couple of home runs he allowed late in that game, and that was it.
A couple breaking balls that didn't quite have the bite, but you're absolutely right. He was so dominant up to those two bombs.
Here's Jeff Blum hitting .259, 9 home runs, 45 driven in. Let's see if Wainwright really settles in now.
Yeah, and we always talk about it, but it's just when you got guys like Carpenter and Wainwright, it's not uncharacteristic for them to struggle a little bit in the first.
Wainwright now with 153 strikeouts with his one back in the first of Lee. So 153, that is 6th best right now in the National League. And he has a couple of strings going on that are quite impressive. 2 earned runs in 11 consecutive games now, and then you think about penciling in at least 6 innings when you talk about Wainwright. Where's that pitch?
24 consecutive starts that he's pitched at least 6 innings. That's the most in the major leagues right now, and he has to have that pitch.
Curveball missed outside.
Trying to backdoor it right there, and just a little bit outside. But can't get both sides of the plate to the hitter.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, and nobody on for Jeff Blum, their third baseman. By the way, Dave Duncan is taking a personal and excused absence from the game tonight, and possibly more time. So that's why we haven't been able to see him in that Cardinals dugout. Hopefully everything's okay, nothing serious. So Marty Mason is in the dugout for the Cardinals. Blum just got a piece. Marty, of course, working normally out in the bullpen. Things got really serious for Marty because he had to go from the bullpen to the dugout next to Tony.
And he's got to play with that big book.
That's right. A 3-2 pitch to Blum.
Marty someday will be an excellent pitching coach at the major league level. Dave Duncan and Tony Russo have given him an awful lot of responsibility, and pretty much to the point where Marty just handles that relief corps. And there's a lot of supervision, but Tony delegates the responsibility to his coaches. Players know if a coach says something to you, it's coming from him.
3-2, little chopper. Brendan Ryan near second base. Nice play. He's got that terrific range. He's playing towards second anyway, but had to go to his left and made the throw on the run, and there's 2 outs.
A quick throw there, but interesting as you see the positioning. But watch Albert after he takes this throw. And quick exchange, but look at Albert. He's like running across the line, just inviting somebody to run right into him.
So 2 outs, and here's Kaz Matsui. We saw Will Venable over the weekend have an issue with Albert Pujols. Or maybe it was the other way around.
I think so. And we did the game Saturday night, which they said it was a carryover.
And I didn't notice anything.
I don't remember it either.
1 ball, 1 strike. Kaz Matsui just recorded his 2,000th career hit, combined between the major leagues and over in Japan. Back on the 15th. Now has 570 career hits over here in the United States. A 2-1 pitch to Matsui. Taken a little bit high.
Still trying to figure out the strike zone.
Hunter Wendelstad is our home plate umpire. Dana DeMuth, crew chief at first. Doug Eddings at second. Brian Knight is over at third. The 3-1 pitch to Matsui. Ground ball hit to second. Julio Lugo there makes the play. DeRosa, Molina, Rasmus coming up. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Purina, Pro Plan, and PetSmart Charities to support pet adoptions. PetSmart Charities adoption centers are available 7 days a week in every PetSmart store. And during every homestand, Fox Sports Midwest will feature adoptable dogs or cats in Cardinals Live. Watch tomorrow as Jim Hayes introduces us to one of these adoptable pets. For more information, visit PetSmartCharities.org. And this is Mark DeRosa, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. We're underway here in the bottom of the second. And DeRosa pops it foul, right side and out of play.
Modest little 3-game hitting streak for DeRosa, 4 for his last 10. He's hit in 11 of his last 16 games at .320.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Good nasty breaking ball that time by Wandy Rodriguez, who's been with Houston his entire professional career.
I don't think going into this season, you don't really think of him as one of the better lefties, but he has been.
A liner to the first baseman, Lance Berkman. Yeah, you think now of Cliff Lee and some of the big names in baseball, but then you look at the numbers for Rodriguez, and he is right there with some of the better lefties in the game.
A 12-game winner, career high this season, and in his career, 5-year career, he's never won less than 9 games in a season.
I was asking some of the Houston folks about Rodriguez, what has made him a much better pitcher this year, and it wasn't like he just arrived on the scene and everything just changed for him. He was always fairly decent, but they said they've really tried to convince him to throw his changeup more because his fastball is okay. He's got a nice little tight breaking ball, but they said throw the changeup. And the guy that really convinced him to do that is no longer with the team, and that's Pudge Rodriguez, who's now catching with Texas. And Rodriguez said Pudge Rodriguez was a big help in that regard. 1-1 pitch to Molina.
I've heard a lot of people say that Pudge really was helpful to the pitchers, and I think he had a reputation of not being that interested in that aspect.
Always had a reputation of glove and hitting,
yes,
and receiving was last.
Throwing and that kind of stuff. But as far as working with his pitchers and really trying to do those things, that was kind of secondary. So it is nice to hear that he does really try to get out there and help his pitchers, because something that Yachty is very good at. Recently we had an interview with Mike Matheny on our pregame show, and Mike was talking about it's not easy to catch for Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa, that they ask so much of their catchers to really be part of a lot of responsibility, be a part of that decision making.
2-2. Mike has got his golf tournament coming up for the Catch 22 Foundation. There's Jason LaRue, the backup catcher for the Cardinals. Mike Matheny, when you talk to him now, and we got the chance to know him fairly well when he was playing with the Cardinals, he's like a different guy. He just seems so relieved and relaxed in retirement. And that's not to say that he wasn't relaxed when he was playing, but you can definitely tell a relief with him. If you're traveling and can't catch the Cardinals TV broadcast, catch all the action on your computer at MLB.tv. Catch over 100 live out-of-market games per week. For complete details, visit STOCardinals.com. That's where baseball is always on. And Mike has built a field for handicapped kids in the Chesterfield area. I've been there. It's wonderful. He's done a great job, and his family, they still call St. Louis home, and you'll see him down at the ballpark periodically, but he's busy with his kids and coaching.
I kind of get a feeling we're going to hear that Matheny name around the sports world for many years. Very athletic family.
1 pitch to Colby. Taken for a strike, 0-2. Beginning of the season, the biggest question was the rotation for Houston. And now one of their biggest questions is their bullpen, as Chris Sampson, who was a mainstay for them last year, is in the minor leagues dealing with injuries with Doug Brokaw and Wesley Wright. They've missed time.
Dan, I just think in the last day or so they signed Benito, or Armando Benitez, and he's pushing 300 career saves. And last night, Troy Glass, Alan Craig,
Colby hits it to the second baseman, Matsui. Only plays a force at second base.
Two other Cardinal minor leaguers all hit consecutive home runs against Benitez, who was making his first appearance since arriving from the independent Newark Bears.
I'd be interested to see what Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan want to do in September. What players come up, and it's a situation where it's not like the Cardinals find themselves 20 games out, and you can give a lot of experience to some of those younger players or reward others, as this is hit into center field. Off the bat of Wainwright, Bourne back to make the catch. 1-0. And that's fourth best in the major leagues. And you win, you draw. That's what that tells you right there. You see the winning percentage, the ranks on the right, and then the average attendance, middle of that graphic. And the Yankees lead it with a new ballpark. The Dodgers, Manny Ramirez, Phillies won the World Series last year. And then you have the Cardinals. The Angels are always drawing well now, and Boston. Credit to these fans, as you may have seen on our pregame show. Bill DeWitt, the Cardinals owner, was talking about the fans coming out, exceeding expectations, and with the money that's been brought in, they have spent it, and spent it wisely. Adding payroll, adding the right players. So here we go. Third inning rolls in. Humberto Quintero, Wandy Rodriguez, and Michael Bourne. Brendan Ryan, one hop to his left, settles and throws, makes the play. Quintero retired for the first out. That's 4 ground ball outs for Wainwright. I was about to say, though, Al, before we went to break, September, interesting month around baseball, because you get a look at Greg Hawk is going to help Tony La Russa's lips, as you do get a look at some of the young players. But in the Cardinals situation here, you can't really afford to do that. You're trying to keep guys sharp. You're pushing for the championship and winning the division. So it's a real fine line that Tony has to walk.
It really is. And many times, you know, yes, you like reinforcements, but you don't want to have somebody unless they can help you. And you really don't want guys that are going to be distractions either.
Lugo is there. 2 outs. Whether it's the Cardinals game or practice, you can stay cool and hydrated wherever you go this summer with a reusable water bottle from Ritz. Make sure to purchase tickets for Friday, August 28th against the Nationals. 25,000 fans receive a Cardinals Ritz water bottle. And there are very good seats still available for the game on Friday, and then Adam Wainwright bobblehead day on Sunday. I've been told that there's plenty of good seats.
Unbelievable. But Friday night, there's a bunch of, and that's one of the promotional nights, isn't it?
Friday night, well, yeah, we got the Ritz water bottle.
Right. And then Sunday is the Wainwright bobblehead. It's going to be another great item. Plenty of tickets available Friday and Sunday.
Friday, by the way, is a half-price night. So 50% off certain tickets here at the ballpark.
And how about the fact that the Cardinals winning baseball? Had that promotion for every win last homestand. $6 came off the price of those Loge, outfield Loge box seats, and those $34 tickets end up being $4 for this entire Houston series. 10,000 tickets were sold in a matter of 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Sold out.
Should mention, too, that Wednesday, tomorrow, is a half-price night as well. STOCardinals.com to get your tickets. 2 outs, nobody on, and a 1-2 pitch to Bourne. Called third strike. He knew it. Shelby Miller is coming up. We'll visit with the young star when we come back. Lewis as they lead Houston, and we've got the top of the lineup for the Cardinals, and we also have Shelby Miller, been kind enough to join us. And Shelby is dressed like a banker, but earlier you were dressed like a professional baseball player. You've signed your first pro contract. Congratulations. It must have been a relief to get that done, and now you're in the fold with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Exactly. I'm just really excited that it's all over with, and I'm just glad, that I got with such a great organization, and ready to get started playing baseball, what I've always wanted to do. So we'll see how it works out.
Was there any doubt that you were going to sign?
I kind of knew that, what I really wanted to do in the end was sign, but college was going to be there for me too, so it was a win-win situation. But I wanted to be a professional athlete, and so when it came down to it, I really couldn't pass it up.
So what's in store for you now? What's the next step after you leave Busch Stadium tonight?
After tonight, I'm riding out with Miller, and we're going to Quad Cities, Iowa, and we're meeting the team in Peoria, Illinois, and hopefully going to be traveling with them a little bit and get a couple innings in. And
so you will throw a little bit this year?
Yes, sir, I will throw a little bit this year.
That's good. Shelby Miller is our guest, the Cardinals' first-round pick, as Lugo calls time. And you were throwing today in front of Bill DeWitt,
right,
John Mozeliak, the Cardinals front office, and a guy named Tony La Russa. What was that like for you?
It was exciting, but kind of just settled in. I'd be talking to him, and he said just be yourself and don't try to overthrow or anything. Just do what you know what to do. And I went out there and I did exactly what I was told. And he said I had a good side bullpen, and I was real satisfied with it after being 2 weeks before I've thrown. So
There's a guy that was behind you when you were throwing. His name is Red Shandies, and he happens to be in the Hall of Fame. So things have changed a little bit from the time that when he was signing. Now they bring in a Shelby Miller, and all of a sudden you're throwing in front of all these big guys, and you're meeting John Smoltz and Chris Carpenter. So you had a chance to meet some of the players.
Exactly.
What did they tell you?
You know, they just kind of you know, welcomed me and told me that kind of what LaRussa told me, just you be yourself. You know, hopefully it all works out, and welcome to the program, and
sure.
You know, just a lot of good things, making me feel comfortable. You know, I didn't know really what to expect, and you know, I felt like I fit right in with these guys, so it's pretty awesome.
And a little check swing and a strikeout of Brendan Ryan. What's that like when you meet John Smoltz? Because you and I were talking right before you came on the air, and there's a look at your resume, but you didn't grow up rooting for the Astros or the Rangers. You just grew up rooting for baseball because you love baseball. So you meet John Smoltz, you know who he is. What was that like?
You know, it was really exciting. I was getting dressed in the locker room, and he kind of walked up right beside me, and I looked at him, and I saw the name on the back of the jersey, and I was like, well, that's pretty awesome. And then right after that, he turned around and shook my hand, and it was exciting. You know, once in a lifetime chance for me to do all this, and I enjoyed it a lot.
How about Pujols? Did you have a chance to meet Albert?
Yes, sir, I did. You know, that was really exciting. I saw him right when I walked in with Hal, and just met him, and
you know he's pretty good.
Exactly. He's going to be a legend forever, and he's somebody to definitely, if I was a hitter, I'd do anything like him, follow exactly in his footsteps.
What do you throw?
I throw a fastball, curveball, and a changeup. I need I toy with a slider and two seam, but that's something I need to develop as I get into these higher levels.
Looking forward to seeing you up here soon. I'm sure you're enjoying all this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it. It's family already.
Good seeing you, Shelby.
Thanks.
Congratulations. 1-0 after 3. Many thanks to Shelby Miller, the first-round pick of the Cardinals, and he is headed to lower-class baseball, but we'll see him up here, I'm sure, very shortly. Cardinals very high on him. This is Hunter Pence, and Pence looks at a strike quickly, 0-2. Michelle Groves has now joined us in the broadcast booth from U.S. Cellular, and you folks have picked up one of my favorite guys, Ryan Ludwig, to launch a campaign. You could take Ryan Ludwig back to school, right?
Yes. What a great show and tell opportunity. This is the second annual Take Ryan Ludwig to School sweepstakes that U.S. Cellular is sponsoring. And what a great opportunity for a local St. Louis kid to win the opportunity to have that fabulous opportunity.
And it's now through September 6th. Parents with children who are 6 to 13 years old can stop by any U.S. Cellular store and sign up as Pinch strikes out. And that's 3 on the night now for Adam Wainwright. So how did this all come about?
Being a wireless sponsor with the Cardinals, just a great opportunity. Ryan is such a great role model both on and off the field, and it's just really exciting to give an opportunity to a St. Louis child to connect with a great role model.
And what was it like last year with Ryan?
It was fabulous. Sophie Cox was the winner, and she got picked up by Fred Bird in a limo. Can you imagine
really?
that ride? And went to the school where Ryan met her, and they had a great game of kickball too.
And the chance to sign up can be done at also uscellular.com.
Right. You can go to uscellular.com to find out where any one of the 38 locations are in the greater St. Louis area, and any parents can stop in. No purchase necessary. Do not need to be a customer, and sign your child up.
Now, apparently, Ryan also plans on hitting the playground for a game of kickball with the winner's classmates.
He does. He did that last year, and he had so much fun he requested to do it again.
Oh, good for him. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Berkman. Curveball that's pulled foul. But again, I don't know if you could find a better guy to do that, because he is so good with kids, and he has a child of his own, and always having fun, always comes to the ballpark with a smile.
Right. And he delivers a good message to the kids too about doing the right thing, staying in school, and being the best that they can be.
So again, for kids out there that want to drag their mom and dad out, make sure that they sign up. How do they do it?
They can go to uscellular.com, find out where the stores are, go into any one of the 38 U.S. Cellular stores in the greater St. Louis area by September 6th. We'll have a random drawing on September 8th, and then around the 14th or 15th of September, depending upon Fred Bird's schedule, we will plan the day.
Awesome. Michelle, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's Michelle Groves from U.S. Cellular. That pitch is in the dirt. And again, at uscellular.com, click on Store Finder and enter a street address, and you can sign up your son or daughter for that opportunity to take Ryan Ludwig to school. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Lance Berkman, who popped out to Mark DeRosa's first time up, and Wainwright is in a groove right now. Leadoff double, but that's been it. That leadoff double was the first man he saw, Michael Bourne, back in the first. And now he has struck out 3 on the night and allowed just the 1 base hit. The Cardinals have a 1-0 lead here in the 4th, thanks to Albert Pujols with RBI number 107. One-two pitch. Taken up and away, 2-2. Now you're back.
So you get a #1 draft pick, and now you're taking Ludwig to school, and now you get me back. Boy, are you in trouble.
Where's Michelle? 2-2. Oh, yeah, he got him. And that's now 4 strikeouts for Wainwright, and that's 3 in a row. This is the Exmo Cam, brought to you by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, 1 block south of the ballpark.
They're running action on that ball as Berkman, one of the best hitters in the game, gives up on it, fools him, and terrific movement over the strike zone.
And that pitch catches the outside corner. That strike zone starting to widen a little bit.
Well, that's what you're hopeful of that for Wainwright, but it's really not good for the game. You just want consistency.
0-2. He is painting right now.
Well, he's imitating one of his mentors. Smoltz, he saw Smoltz strike out 7 in a row. Maybe you try and compete.
Check swing, and did he go? No. Tag was applied by Molina, but did not go around.
Not that you want to get into striking out everybody, because it runs your pitch count up there, but if you get 2 strikes, why not put them away?
1-2 pitch to Carlos Lee, struck out swinging. This is popped up. Pujols over near the Cardinal dugout with room, and he's got it. Matt Holliday leads it off. When we come back, it's 1-0 St. Louis. Matt Holliday, Ryan Ludwig, and Mark DeRosa. Now, Sunday, you can also buy a raffle ticket to the Jerseys Up Our Backstay that Michael Hall and Cardinals Care has put together. That'll be Sunday on the Adam Wainwright Bobblehead Day. So a chance to get that Holiday jersey, or maybe John Smoltz, future Hall of Famer, along with Albert Pujols. But all the players kind enough, they come out after the game and hand off their jerseys straight off their backs, literally, and then sign that jersey for a fan.
That's a $1 scratch off, right?
$1 scratch off. All the proceeds go to Cardinals Care, which is given back nearly $14 million since its inception to the kids of St. Louis. And we actually have another field ceremony coming up, dedication on Friday.
Bob Gibson Field.
Right.
And see the DeWitts. Bill DeWitt's sister in the back and her husband.
2-2 pitch. Called out on strikes is Matt Holliday on the inside corner. And that's 2 strikeouts for Wandy Rodriguez. But Michael Hall and his crew have done a great job with Cardinals Care and daily basis, delivering money and handing out checks and trying to make this a better place for the kids.
Yeah, it's not only just the baseball diamonds and kind of reviving baseball in the inner cities, but you know, any charitable organization that dealing with kids can request a grant.
And this has popped up off the bat of Ludwig. The signature program, they call it Redbird Rookies, and it's baseball and teaching and life skills. It's wonderful. 6 is a serious number. The Cardinals score 6. You get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $0.25 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run.
And speaking of kids, big hello to Glenn Bergdorf of Camp Point, Illinois. He's been a loyal Cardinal fan for the past 88 years. Speaking of kids.
Speaking of kids. There's Mark DeRosa, who is 0 for 1. Del Markovich, 85. Watches all the games. She has 6 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, and happy birthday to Nell Markovich. Watching tonight, 85-year-old, taking in Cardinals baseball. Had to get that birthday on because that was hand-delivered to me by the commish, Rick Hummel. And DeRosa, swing and a miss. Foul tip held on to by Quintero. 3 strikeouts for Rodriguez. 5th inning rolls in. Years to reach the first World Series, took 18 to make the first postseason appearance. Long, lean years there for the Astros. Well, they would make it into postseason play, but yet couldn't get over the hump until finally they did it recently. And of course, we saw them in the World Series. And they lost 4 straight to Chicago. Here's Tejada. He lines it down the right field line. And that's out of play. Jim Hayes has been kind enough to join us. And Jim, pregame show, you were busy with Bill DeWitt, the Cardinals owner.
Yeah, how about that? I kind of got a flavor for the decision-making process behind the decision to go out and not only upgrade the roster a little bit, but a lot. You know, he didn't say it was a change in philosophy, getting away from younger players, Bill DeWitt Jr., the owner, but instead the opportunity to make trades that they thought were beneficial to the team to get the caliber players they did, DeRosa, a Holiday, and make the moves that they went ahead and made, and boy, they're paying off.
0-2 pitch, fouled. Now the big question is, how many can they keep, and who do they want to keep?
Well, they're starting to look at all that, and there's a lot of math involved, and I didn't get much information as to who or when or why, but they have a lot of decisions to make, and they're aware of that.
What do you think, Al? You have a gut feeling one way or another with any of these guys coming back?
My hope is it's one of those situations like Kyle Loesch, where all of a sudden we hear that such and such is signing long-term contract. You know, we don't need to have the negotiations public. We don't really need to know much, as long as they end up with, you know, wearing the Cardinal uniform for a long time.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Tejada. Doesn't chase that breaking ball.
Obviously, I think everybody is hopeful that the Holiday signing happens. I think that's first priority. But I think a lot of things, but DeRosa, you got Lugo's under contract next year with Boston paying, that I guess everything but the minimum salary. And now all of a sudden Smoltz, who wants to pitch next year. It's a nice debut or a period to where you can kind of look and evaluate him, and the Cardinals will have the first shot because he's wearing the Cardinal uniform now.
You bring up a great point about Kyle Loesch and the way that signing was handled quietly, where no one really knew they were getting close. Boom, it just happened. And John Mozeliak told me that it can be real counterproductive in a negotiation when details, sometimes incorrect details, get out about what's being discussed.
Agreed.
To me, what would be interesting is if Smoltz can pitch anywhere close to be John Smoltz, which he was terrific on Sunday, and he finishes up this year on a strong note, and you do want to have him come back. And Tejada lifts it out to left field. Holiday backing up near the track, and he'll make the catch. The question would be, John Smoltz has made a whole heck of a lot of money. I mean, would he be willing to say, St. Louis gave me a chance, I'm willing to say I'll take a significant amount of dollars less to stay in a situation I enjoy?
Well, I think the key is that he's 42 years of age, so you're not looking for a real long term. Most of the time, that's where clubs get in trouble, where they have to give a contract for more years than they desire.
And again, I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves with Smoltz. Let's see how it all plays out.
Sure, but it's one more part of the equation that you would, it makes it very intriguing, not only for this year, but for the future.
Al, there are a lot of guys that are going to have to be re-signed. That's a lot of money. I don't think the Yankees have the kind of money to bring everyone back. But they could bring back.
But the Cardinals do have a lot of money.
They have a lot of guys, and they have a lot of guys that are not going to be back.
But they also have a guy named Pujols who will be coming up.
And that may be the entire key for everything.
Gee, I remember we fizzled a while back, and one of the things that I talked about is that, acquiring Holiday is you had to tear up Albert's contract and give him a new one, but that didn't seem to bother you at that time.
Refresh my memory. I beat you in that fizzle.
No, I won that one.
Didn't I? All right, that was the one. That was the one.
Oh yeah,
no. My point of the
really
whole thing is
nothing better than a good fizzle.
My point is, if you have the opportunity to win today, you do. And the Cardinals went out and did that. And look at the difference it's made. Now you have other things to worry about down the road, but it's a great situation to be in if you can get to the postseason and make a nice deep run, Al.
Here's a 1-2. Breaking ball lifted into shallow right center field. Colby under it, makes the catch. Another thing that, go ahead, Al.
No, I was just going to say,
we're not fizzling now, Al.
I didn't think I was in disagreement with you.
Planning a visit to St. Louis to watch the Cardinals game during the end of the season, or just searching for a hotel in St. Louis, visit STLCardinals.com. Look for the Fredbird's Favorite Hotels icon to find favorite hotels with varying rates and accommodations. Buy your Cardinal tickets and book your room all at the same time at STLCardinals.com. Here's Kaz Matsui, who's grounded out to second.
There are going to be some tough decisions, and you know, in this game, at some point, all players have to recognize the business aspects of it.
Matsui is swing and a miss.
And there's a pecking order. You know, talk about high salary guys, and a lot of responsibility comes with it, but there's a lot of money will be coming off the books. Not enough to sign everybody, so maybe a few other guys don't come back also.
You look at the kind of season Joel Pinheiro is having. Cardinals would love to bring him back, but you got to think based on what they may be committed to paying to bring certain guys back, someone's going to come along, and it seems with that kind of year that Pinheiro had, just blow him out of the box with a huge offer.
Well, that's why you try to sign guys before they hit the open market. And let's face it, in today's economics, you got your core group of players that they're going to command the majority of your money, and then you fill in around it. And that's where your minor league system is very, very important.
Another ground ball out here for Wainwright. He is sailing through 5. Molina, Rasmus, and Adam Wainwright coming up. Fox Saturday Baseball this week, 4 Eastern, 3 Central, only on Fox. The Cubs, top of the 5th, trailing Washington 5-1. Carlos Zambrano is back too.
Right, he made that start.
You know, Big Dog really enjoying the conversation and the speculation that's out there with certain players. They may or may not come back. So, of course, Big Dog works with us nightly basis up here in the broadcast booth.
I think the whole scenario is intriguing. And the bottom line is, while you're enjoying the Cardinals on a big roll, it's fun to sometimes try to think ahead and speculate on what they may or may not do.
Big Dog shaking his head. You better look out.
He's not happy.
You're in reach, Dan.
He's not happy. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Molina. Walked his first time up. And Yachty hits it in the air to shallow right. You know, one of the guys we wanted to talk about while Jim was in here is Todd Wellemeyer. And Wellemeyer slowly but surely trying to make his way back.
Today he threw his first full-blown side session. He's a guy with a sore elbow. He said the pain is nearly gone. Right now he's kind of fine-tuning his mechanics, and he said he's not sure what they want him to do. There's a possibility of a simulated game. There's a possibility that they'll send him out on a rehab before the minor league season comes to an end. And he was asked if he had any reaction to the Cardinals going out and bringing in John Smoltz, fifth starter. Wellemeyer was the fifth starter, and he said anytime you can bring a John Smoltz in, I understand he's a great pitcher. So it seemed like he's ready to do whatever the Cardinals want him to do.
You know, Wellemeyer, I like him a lot, and he's a smart guy, and you know, but that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, thank goodness he didn't fall into somebody's trap.
Actually, it was a trap. Someone said, your reaction to them bringing in Smoltz, and he said, I'm fine with it.
Well, he's smart enough, and
good question, Jim.
And he knows.
That was not me.
Oh. 1-2 the count.
By the way, Billy Wagner did get traded to the Red Sox. Interesting is another strikeout, number 4 for Rodriguez. He catches Kobe looking. That, you know, he put in there, he waived his no trade, but he also wanted to make sure that they couldn't, that he becomes a free agent after the end of the season.
Quote of the day from Craig Biggio on Mark McGuire. This is brought to you by GMC. When he hits line drives, get the family of 4 out of the left field seats before they get killed. Our GMC quote of the day as Wainwright looks at a ball low. Now, John Smoltz did visit with the local media, and of course you were out on the West Coast with us, Jim, when he talked to the media out there. Anything different from that conversation?
He spoke for 55 minutes to the local media today. Obviously, he's a media favorite already because he'll talk.
55 minutes. See you on the postgame. Thanks, Jim. In, and the Cardinals have the lead to score of 1-0 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Quintero, Wandy Rodriguez, and Michael Bourne against Adam Wainwright. He's allowed just one base hit, and that was the first hitter of the game. He gave up a double back in the first, and then Bourne was stranded at second base. They couldn't even advance him. The Cardinals have their run on a RBI double by Albert Pujols. RBI number 107. You know, you were talking about Billy Wagner, and the Red Sox will give up 2 players to be named later. And the Red Sox, in doing that deal, said they would not pick up the option on Billy Wagner for next year. And that's hit to DeRosa.
That was Billy's condition.
That's right, because he wants to be a free agent. He wants to close. He wants to pass John Franco as the all-time saves leader by a left-hander. And Jonathan Papelbon is closing games out, obviously, with the Boston Red Sox. But Papelbon was none too pleased a couple of days ago about the idea of Wagner going to Boston. So those two, there's a dynamic there.
Wow. Unlike what Wellemeyer being a real team player, and here, you know, Wagner's not going there to assume the closer's role, and the closer's upset.
And the news gets worse for the Mets. Johan Santana done
Surgery.
for the year.
Bone chips.
They say it's minor elbow surgery. So Santana is done. And an 0-1 pitch. You know, a lot of people looked at the Red Sox and Yankees by them being inactive, so to speak, and going after Santana as throwing up a concern for that, because they felt that maybe he was throwing way too many fastballs. They didn't see the breaking balls, so they were concerned at the time about the elbow, so they stayed away.
Thinking that he was protecting the elbow by throwing fastballs and not the breaking pitch.
And that was, Al, probably the second half of 2007 when he was being scouted heavily. And now the Mets have themselves a mess with that. 1-2 pitch. Rodriguez back to Wainwright, steps and throws. So 2 away, and let's go to our This Date in Baseball History. Brought to you by Schnucks. Tony La Russa, his 2,195th career game, passing Sparky Anderson, third all-time, back in August of '05, and I believe he did that in Pittsburgh. Memory serves correct.
All I know is Tony still has the fire in the belly, and he really keeps on managing. He's going to end up in second place.
Yeah. And you see that's Marty Mason there inside that Cardinal dugout. And for those of you that have just joined us, Dave Duncan is taking a personal and excused absence tonight and possibly more time. So Marty Mason comes in from the bullpen into the Cardinal dugout.
And they've just marveling at the work by Wainwright, retired 16 in a row.
Left center, and that'll drop. Rasmus, though, over to cut it off. Good play. And he holds Bourne to a single. Nice play out there by Colby.
So Michael Bourne has 17 in a row. Michael Bourne has both hits. And each team has only 2 in this game.
Remember in the series against San Diego, there was a ball that got past Colby Rasmus all the way to the wall. Certainly he was, at least in the back of his mind, thinking of possibly diving for it and going for it, which then would have turned into a triple easily for Bourne if he doesn't come up with it. So 2 outs and a runner at first, and Hunter Pence, the hitter. We've seen a lot of breaking balls again tonight. He is grounded out to third and struck out back in the 4th.
And about the time he sees a breaking ball there, but at the time he starts figuring he's going to get breaking ball, watch him throw the fastball by.
Mentioned the Cubs had Carlos Zambrano back 9-1. They're trailing now in the bottom of the 5th. Lou Piniella, by the way, is also on record now as saying he will come back next year. Cubs manager.
He would like to come back, but will new ownership want him back?
1-0 pitch by Wainwright. Pujols backhands it, steps on the bag. Houston strands their second runner. Top of the lineup coming up for the Cardinals: Lugo, Ryan, and Albert Pujols. He'll get Roy Oswald. Oswald is 7-4. Joel is 12-9.
Excellent pitching on both sides in this ball game. Cardinals got their lone run. Brendan Ryan single, and then Albert Pujols drove him in with a double. That was back in the first inning, and those were the last hits that Wandy Rodriguez has allowed. Kind of a microcosm of what's been happening lately is the offense is much deeper for the Cardinals, but hasn't really been producing just excellent pitching.
Talk about excellent pitching. How about Cliff Lee for the Phillies? Another win last night. He had 19 first pitch strikes. 19.
We were all commenting last year, CC Sabathia, how dominant he was and how well he did for Milwaukee. And Cliff Lee is even, more dominant.
Statistically, he's better in certain areas.
Yeah.
Go back to the last time we saw the Astros. The Cardinals swept in Houston back on the 22nd of July. The 23rd, the Cardinals trade Chris Duncan for Julio Lugo. On the 24th, the Cardinals pick up Matt Holliday, and it's been a different team ever since.
Best record in the major leagues since Holliday came on the scene.
A 3-2 pitch, and Lugo hits it to short. Backhanded by Tejada, and makes the play. Well, Cardinal fans will not want to miss this opportunity to add pitcher Adam Wainwright to their bobblehead collection. 25,000 fans receive an Action Pose bobblehead of Adam Wainwright. Tickets are still available for this Sunday. Adam Wainwright Bobblehead Day, presented by Train. Visit STLCardinals.com for tickets. Thinking about making a weekend of it. You've got water bottle night Friday, photo night on Saturday, and the Wainwright bobblehead and the Cardinals care jerseys up our backstay on Sunday. One out. Here's Brendan Ryan. A strike at the knees. Brendan singled and scored the first and struck out in the third.
That average, 298 for the man that we consider the best defensive shortstop in the league.
Backhanded by Blum. 2 outs.
Blum has been so solid all season long. He's only committed 3 errors on the year.
Whatever happened to Morgan Ensberg?
Out to pasture quickly.
Yeah, it was as fast as it goes. Here's Pujols, who's hitting .336 against left-handed pitching this year and .328 right here at home.
How about Albert? Sunday hit his 40th home run, his 5th 40 home run season in his first 9.
So 5 for 9 for 40 home runs.
Yeah. You guys are looking once in a career.
Pujols hits it fair, backhanded though by Blum, and takes an extra base hit away. We played 6 here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals behind Wainwright. They lead at 1-0. summer clearance is here. Get to your Jeep dealer today for some of the best deals of the season. And brought to you by Taco Bell's new Volcano menu. It's seriously spicy. Switch hitter Lance Berkman, whose father, Larry, was a huge fan of Mickey Mantle. And he taught Lance how to switch hit as he began at the age of 6. Naturally better from actually the other side of the plate, but because youth baseball always was facing right-handers, became much better at this side of the plate. A 2-0 pitch to Berkman. Popped up left side. DeRosa with room. Makes the play. And we turn to our Aflac trivia question tonight. Good play by DeRosa in foul territory as Carlos Lee digs in. Aflac! Here in the top of the 7th. What is the record for most pitchers combined to throw a no-hitter? We were talking about Billy Wagner before. I know he was part of this.
Aflac! 6.
6 is right. The Astros and Yankees. Astros did that at Yankee Stadium in interleague play back in 2003.
Wainwright's retired 19 of his last 20 batters. 19 out of 21 overall. And Wandy's on a similar dominant streak.
And Lee hits it out to deep center. Rasmus back on the track, and he's got enough room to make the catch. Take a look at this in the Hot Shots camera, brought to you by Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill.
I believe Carlos has hit 4 home runs against the Cardinals this season, and for a moment you thought he had maybe number 5, but a little cooler night. Kobe goes back, plenty of room, tracks it down, and everybody takes a little sigh of relief.
Here's Tejada. Twice he has flied out to left. Injuries are part of the game, but Dusty Baker tonight using his 102nd different lineup in 124 games.
Tony uses a lot of lineups, mixing and matching, doing different things, but Dusty's had to do it out of necessity.
Man, he has had a ton of injuries. And he was asked, is it something that the training staff could do better? And he said, look, we're just in a situation of bad luck. You know, Scott Rowland gets hit in the head. He said, that's not a trainer's fault.
Scott did come off the disabled list and he's playing tonight. Is Cincinnati helping the Cardinal cause? They have a 4-1 lead over Milwaukee.
Now Milwaukee gets Jeff Suppan and Dave Bush back.
Suppan was making the start tonight.
Bush hasn't thrown since June 20th, and at that point the Brewers were half game out. So with those two guys out of the rotation, they use Mike Burns, Carlos Villanueva, and Seth McClung. Quite different than Dave Bush and Jeff Suppan. I'm sure this has turned into a very frustrating year for the Milwaukee Brewers, coming off their first appearance since '82 in the playoffs last year and made the big splash to get Sabathia and excitement around that franchise. Good play here by Lugo. Gets up, fires to first, and it's time to stretch. Wainwright impressive tonight along with the defense. Pitch pops it up right side. This may drop. And Matsui on the run makes the catch.
Very nice play right there as he knifes through the first baseman and right fielder. Looked like I was going to hit the Bermuda Triangle and fall in, like you said. But Matsui, the second baseman, has the best angle and makes a nice running catch.
You're also thinking about, as you see the Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill Exmo Cam, you're thinking about the right fielder coming in too. You're concentrating looking up, but you're also thinking, well, where's my right fielder?
It's the same thing. You have to have that verbal communication. And as an infielder, you go out until you're called off. Ideally, it's a much easier play for the outfielder coming in, but sometimes you get a play like that, the best angle is going to be the second baseman or a shortstop down the left field line.
0-2 the count, and a couple of pop outs here for Ludwig. Once to second, the other time to first. Wandy Rodriguez, pitch number 76 tonight. Talk so much about Wainwright. Rodriguez has just about matched him pitch for pitch.
No doubt about it. He's retired 18 of the last 19 batters. Really haven't been a lot of hard hit balls off of him either.
Last 9 starts, he had 60 innings pitched and 14 earned runs, 10 of those coming in one start. That's how well he has pitched, as you see the count at pitch number 78 on its way. Pulled foul.
Wainwright right about 100 pitches. So Wandy could go a little deeper in this game, and Cardinals feel relatively, they want to see Wainwright go as deep as he can, but confident they can turn it over to the bullpen, particularly Ryan Franklin, where right now a little bit of question marks in the Houston bullpen.
You were talking about tipping pitches earlier. You see the glove of Rodriguez where the finger could come out. It's covered, and a lot of times pitches can be given away by the way that index finger of the glove hand is either on the glove or away from the glove.
And you reach in, and you know the glove was designed to have the finger on the outside, but many times pitchers find that if you reach in and change the grip, meaning like on a breaking ball, you kind of clinch the glove a little bit more. On a fastball or vice versa, you lift that finger off the glove, and these hitters see it.
Out to left, and that will drop. Good at bat by Ludwig. And the Cardinals pick up just their third base hit.
Leaning back, trigger position. You see he pulls his hands in close to the body and just rifle one out there left. You've got Carlos Lee, who doesn't commit a lot of errors but doesn't take a lot of chances either.
Mark DeRosa popped out to first and struck out. 21 home runs. He's driven in 65, and a check on Ludwig over at first.
Wouldn't hurt to get an insurance run or two.
Oswalt and Pinheiro tomorrow at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Midwest, and then we're back to day baseball on Thursday. Always looking forward to those day games as Ludwig is back safely. That'll be this Thursday. One ball, one strike. Outfield is straight away for Mark DeRosa. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Key game of the night. Dodgers and Rockies, they're tied up 2-2, and that's in the bottom of the 4th. You're talking about for the wild card. You're talking about for the West. Very important game. The Rockies, amazingly, were 15 and a half games out back on June 3rd. That's when they faced the Cardinals. They were 15 and a half games out, the Rockies, and now they have won 51 of 73 games to get themselves back in the race.
Been very, very good under Jim Tracy. First thing he made people aware of is that you got a good baseball man fired, and they've responded to Jim.
Pitch in for Healthy Smiles with Delta Dental and the Cardinals. Purchase a $2 raffle ticket for a chance to win an autographed baseball by Albert and join the Smiles League. The proceeds benefit local charities that help kids have healthy smiles. For information and to buy your tickets, please go to smilesleague.com. Rockies needed relief help, and they decided at that point they could maybe get back in the race. Rafael Betancourt, Joe Beimel. That's what makes you nervous about postseason play. If you have to face a wild card team, more times than not, you're facing the hottest team in baseball, because they've been basically playing playoff baseball for a couple of months.
I remember when 1978 with Kansas City, Boston had about a 14.5 game lead in August, mid-August, and the Royals knew they were going to win, but you kind of assumed you were going to be playing Boston. And of course, that was the year Bucky Dent, the playoff game where Bucky Dent hit the home run off of Mike Therese, and the next day they were playing in Kansas City, the first game of the playoffs, and we're still in our mindset. We're thinking we were playing Boston, and we were playing the Yankees.
Right.
That 3 out of 5 is a tough series, especially when you lose that first one. If you're at home and you lose it to the visiting team.
2-1 is pulled foul. Boston tonight leading the White Sox 4-3. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Kansas City leading Cleveland 4-1 in the top of the 7th. But think if you're a Cleveland Indians fan, you saw Sabathia go last year and Cliff Lee go this year.
Victor Martinez.
Mark DeRosa, another one. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and runner at first. Two. Two and two.
Wonder how deceptive Rodriguez is, as very few Cardinal hitters have been able to center the ball, and his ability to get in on the right-handed batters.
And Molina strikes out to end the 7th. It's 1-0 Cardinals. Wainwright back to work when we come back. Let's turn now to the Hardy's prime cut of the game off the bat of Albert Pujols. A double back in the first that scored Brendan Ryan all the way from first. Ball that went into the left field corner. And Albert picked up RBI number 107. By the way, again tonight, 6 innings again. Last 25 starts for Wainwright, including tonight. First Cardinals pitcher to do that since Carpenter did it. 28 games of 6 innings or longer back in 2005 when he won the Cy Young Award. Jeff Blum, Kaz Matsui, and Quintero. Pitch count nearing 100. Franklin made it interesting on Sunday, but bottom line, he got the job done and picked up the save.
Things are going to happen. Thank goodness it comes at a time when there was a day off the next day. So he's recovered, I would assume, and ready for tonight. He's had saves in his last 8 games.
And strike 2. By the way, if you're wondering about Friday night, apparently John Smoltz will make that start Friday night. So to see his home debut Friday night, it's also the water bottle night and a half price night. So
boy,
come on out.
Half price to see a future Hall of Famer. And I'm sure that that's going to be one more of these memorable occasions when he's announced to the crowd for the first time. I think he'll get a thrill out of that. And I'm very much looking forward to that.
Me too. 2-2 the count. Bottom of the 6th, and Washington leading Chicago 9-4. There's a look at the right-hander LaTroy Hawkins. They have one lefty, Tim Burdack, in their bullpen. The rest righties.
You know, John Smoltz was very upset with the Atlanta Braves when they included Adam Wainwright in the trade that brought him to St. Louis. He could envision and see that Adam was going to be this quality starter. And what a real thrill for probably both of them to be reunited.
Full count.
I get the feeling that Adam just got a little bit extra incentive to show Smoltz, especially after what Smoltz did. But they all feed off of each other.
And a hard hit ball off the glove of Lugo. Played it off to the side. Not sure if he could get in front of it. And the leadoff man is aboard. So the tying run is on. Go ahead run comes to the plate. They'll give him a base hit. So base hit here for Blum.
Breaking ball up in the zone, and Lugo really didn't want any part of it. It was hit awfully hard, but today's players play everything off to the side. Nobody wants to get in front of a ball, and so the end result is if you don't come up with it cleanly, it's charged a base hit to the pitcher, no error to the position player. But keep an eye right now as activity now in the Cardinal bullpen is a couple of his pitches been getting up in the zone.
Jeff Keppinger is a pinch runner. Kyle McClellan up and throwing in that Cardinal bullpen. Here's Kaz Matsui, who's a good bunter. So Matsui here. DeRosa playing in at third. Pujols holding at first. Long look by Wainwright to see if Matsui would show bunt.
Just holding that ball. That's a call from the bench where you see one was a hit or give away that he's sacrificing. 2, you take the spring out of the legs of the base runner at first.
Saw the 10 sacrifices for Matsui. Matsui tonight twice has grounded out to second.
Rosa playing a double play depth up the middle. Here's where maybe you hope that he gets the ball elevated and pops it up if he shows bunt.
Showing bunt here. Good bunt. Wainwright only play is to go to first. Pujols covering. So the sacrifice is good. 1-3 on the play. Keppinger in scoring position, and it brings in the 8th place hitter Quintero.
It's going to be a pinch hitter for Quintero.
I think it's Darren Erstad. So Erstad will come off the bench. Been around a long time. Great years with the Angels. He was with the White Sox, and now second year with Houston.
There's another one that was on the disabled list last time we played the Astros. 7 for 15, 3 walks, a home run, a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs in his last 18 pinch hit appearances. Overall, 11 for 42 pinch hitting.
Quick visit with Molina. They'll go over the signs. Also a quick scout report here on Erstad.
Erstad was a real plus acquisition. Won a Gold Glove in the outfield and in the infield, playing first base, and terrific athlete. Good guy to have on a winning team.
Jason Michaels has moved to the on-deck circle. So 1 out and a runner at second base.
Breaking ball, not quite the same bite. 105 pitches thrown.
And the ball that Blum hit was a breaking ball. Hit pretty hard too.
And it was up. Remember his last start, a couple solo home runs on breaking pitches late in the game.
2 balls and no strikes.
Cutter coming in on the left-handed batters. Really hasn't had a lot of success with that pitch tonight. Still, it's a good pitch against left-handed batters, and don't want to necessarily give up on it, because right now maybe you'll come up with the key pitch of the game.
A 2-0. Curveball in there for strike 2 and 1. Pitch count is nearing 110.
Talked about this before, but you see the index finger off the ball on that curveball, and nobody seemed like they were able to pick that up.
Exmo Cam brought to you by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill. A 2-1 pitch to Darren Erstad. Ground ball. Lugo. Wainwright just got there in time. Pujols thought about going to his right, then realized he was so far away he couldn't get back to the bag, and Wainwright was covering. 2 outs.
It's hard to ever criticize Albert for anything, but that's one thing that you wish he wouldn't stray that far. You see him just totally get out of the way and let the pitcher covering. And Erstad hustling all the way makes it a very close play. Marty Mason, acting pitching coach, out to talk to Wainwright and the infielders with Jason Michaels, who's really been a Cardinal killer, but Michael Bourne is 2 for 3, so they got Trevor Miller up for that scenario.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. So you got the ground ball off the bat of Erstad. Tying run over at third base with 2 outs here in the 8th, and Jason Michaels. Michaels hitting for Wandy Rodriguez. Wandy Rodriguez 7 innings, and he struck out 6 and gave up a run. The crowd now gets into it.
More than likely the last batter that Wainwright faces, so crowd is going to help him out, trying to get him through this inning, keep the 1-0 score.
Pitch number 110 on its way. Beauty in there for strike 1-1.
Michael's been a hot hitter of late, and there's a breaking ball, just kind of started a little more inside and kind of hanging up there a little bit, but he couldn't pull the trigger.
1-1 pitch.
That's a better one.
2-1 did not go.
Yep, get ahead in the count and try to get him to chase that. The difference of a get ahead curveball and one to put you away. It's his numbers on the season, but of late he's been a very dangerous pinch hitter. And over the course of his National League career, he's hit the Cardinals well.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. Let's see if this crowd will now stand.
They understand what's going on, and they also understand what a gutty performance and well-pitched game from both sides. 1-0 game. Every pitch could be the difference in the outcome.
Full count.
There's that cutter and just not getting it down there a little bit. Couldn't make him chase. It's a tough decision. You know, you sit there and you know this is probably your last pitch. Probably want to throw a breaking ball off the plate. Do that close enough to get him to swing it. But if you miss it, Trevor Miller comes in.
3-2. He got him. A strikeout. His 5th of the night. Another masterful performance by Adam Wainwright. Wainwright, his biggest strikeout of the night. His reaction. 1-0 Cardinals. Tonight, let's go pitch by pitch in the at-bat. Brought to you by Chevrolet.
Little cutter down and away, falls behind 1-0. There's a breaking ball getting even the count. Back to another breaking ball. Cutter looks like there's a cutter. He misses two. And then the breaking ball, he gets a swing and a miss. And he knows that that's his night's through is Brian Franklin. But what a job Wainwright has done. Same thing with Wandy Rodriguez. And it's down to the bullpens right now. But Wainwright in line for his 15th victory. That'd be the most in the major leagues.
So it'll be Rasmus Wainwright, who has moved to the on-deck circle, and Lugo against LaTroy Hawkins. It's our Chevrolet call to the bullpen. A swing and a miss by Colby. Rasmus tonight has struck out and also grounded out. Wandy Rodriguez, 7 innings, 1 run. That was the RBI double by Pujols. Appearance number 51 for Hawkins. And Rodriguez only gave up 3 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6. 0-1 pitch. 0-2.
Hawkins came to the Astros late last season. And in 74 games since joining the Astros, he has a 1.55 ERA, the lowest in the majors since that date, August 2nd last year.
New third baseman is Keppinger. Coast is into the ball game, the former Philly. He's behind the plate. And your new pitcher is LaTroy Hawkins. LaTroy Hawkins from Gary, Indiana. Drafted straight out of high school by the Twins back in 1991. Was in their minor league system and then finally called up in '95.
Picked up his 11th save on Saturday.
Slowly hit to the right side. Berkman, Hawkins, and out at first. PFP, pitchers fielding practice.
It's right here that pitchers practice this. That's the only thing they really do other in their days. They are not pitching. All they do is run and do PFP.
So Skip Schumacher will be the pinch hitter for Adam Wainwright. 8 innings, no runs, 3 hits, no walks. He struck out 5 tonight, including 3 consecutive, and no home runs allowed. So another fantastic evening put together by Wainwright, trying to become a 15-game winner. And
as you mentioned too, that 25th consecutive time that he's gone at least 6 innings, 8 innings of shutout baseball here tonight.
ERA at 2.50 for Wainwright after tonight. Schumacher takes the ball upstairs. So who would you give it to right now if you had to vote a Cardinal? Would it be Wainwright or Carpenter?
Well, I give it to Wainwright because he's the 15-game winner tonight.
It's a tough choice.
And then you hope that Carpenter's next outing, he's right there trying to take it away. But nice to sit there and have multiple options, and don't forget the job that Franklin's done is closing out games.
Just as valuable as those 2 starters have been, the guy that's warming up right now has been huge for the Cardinals, and that's Ryan Franklin. 1-1 pitch to Skip, coming off the bench tonight. 2-1. So Franklin getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen. Jeff Murphy out there, been with the Cardinals as a player in their system. Now as a coach for Tony La Russa, a number of years. 2-2.
Skip hit 300 on the road trip, and his .301 average as a leadoff man is 3rd in the National League.
The one game I know that really eats at Ryan Franklin this year, I talked to him about it after it happened, was
Cincinnati.
The second blown save and first loss at Houston. Yeah.
Cincinnati was the first one, right? But
it's bounced, and that ended 18 scoreless innings. So he has a chance now to atone for that tonight.
Absolutely, and that's the worst thing that can ever happen for a closer, is coming in, trying to protect a lead, pick up a save, and walk off with the L. But he's atoned for it, and he's been very, very good.
3-2 is sliced out of play and foul. Troy Hawkins has bounced around a bit in his career with Minnesota, the Cubs, Giants, Baltimore, the Rockies. Was with the Yankees, and now with Houston.
At times he's been a very, very good setup man. And at times he's had his problems trying to close out games, but 11 saves and 14 opportunities this year. But that came as, when Valverde was on the disabled list, getting the majority of those opportunities. Schumacher just stayed alive.
3-2 the count.
Lenny Herron and Matt Cain are trying to, one of them trying to pick up the 13th victory tonight as they go against each other.
Little chopper hit towards short. Tejada quickly to first. Got him. Good play by Miguel Tejada. Cardinals baseball tonight has been brought to you by Budweiser Select. Full flavor, 99 calories, the exception to the rule. By Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Lock in $1.49 a gallon. For a year's worth of gas, visit your St. Louis Hyundai dealers today. And by Ameristar. More casino, more fun. Rick Ankiel will be the pinch hitter against LaTroy Hawkins, and he's pinch hitting for Lugo. So Schumacher will stay in the game, you would presume, to play second base. So what a vote of confidence that is for Skip. Run game and having him play second base.
Very close play right there, but nice scoop by Berkman gets him out. A lot of times people dive like that thinking that sort of an optical illusion that you get there quicker.
One pitch now to Ricky Ankiel. Ankiel came off the bench Saturday night and crushed a home run center field at Petco Park.
It's his second career pinch hit home run. He's hit .289 in the last 26 games with 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. So power coming back a little bit.
0-2 pitch. Another check swing and a strikeout of Ankiel sends us to the 9th. Cardinals trying to take game 1. Franklin coming in. It's 1-0. By Infinity. Cardinals returning home tonight. We've had a crowd of 40,512. The 1 run scored in the game off the bat of Pujols. The other story, Adam Wainwright. 5 strikeouts tonight, 8 innings of scoreless baseball, no walks. Well over 100 pitches this evening as Adam is trying to win number 15, and it's up to the bullpen to finish it off. This is our Chevy call to the pen, and the all-star closer, Ryan Franklin, is in.
Has saves in his last 8 outings. Second among major league relievers with his 1.10 ERA. His 32 saves are second in the National League. Really helps his cause. Look at opponents only batting 183 against him. First batters, he's retired 41 of 49. That's a key stat. Many times he's extremely efficient going through 1 inning.
So here is Michael Bourne. The Astros have the top of their lineup. Bourne with 2 of their 3 hits tonight. The Cardinals with only 3 hits. So 6 total in our ball game tonight. Ground ball. Albert's got it. The speed is off the bases of Michael Bourne. Jim Hayes, what's coming up on the postgame show?
Coming up on the postgame edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live, Pat Paris with the good doctor Ricky Horton tonight. They'll take a look at the duel on the mound. We'll go inside the Cardinal clubhouse for a player reaction. Plus, the Cardinal Tournament of Champions rolls on tonight, 2004 versus 1968. That and more coming up after the game. For now, it's back to you guys.
All right, thank you. And here is Hunter Pence. Be careful here. Ground ball to short. Brendan Ryan. Low throw. Oh, what a pick by Pujols. Saves Ryan on that play. Budweiser player of the game. Adam Wainwright, 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts.
Ryan with that slinging action over there, but Albert with those soft hands makes a terrific play at the other end. Look at him just sitting there trying to get that good clean hop, and Ryan kind of kicking himself right now, but his first baseman saves him.
Boy, what soft hands over there. Great pick by Pujols.
Molina, nice conversation out here trying to go through the game plan with Berkman.
Berkman, by the way, 3 for 6 against Franklin with a homer.
Ryan doesn't give up a lot of home runs. We've seen him, few he has the last couple of years have come late in the season, but I think he's a little different scenario right now as he's Cardinals. Dave Duncan and Tony Russo have done a great job really keeping their bullpen, keeping guys fresh, and that's with all the innings the Stars giving. How about the defensive lineman? Pitch him inside as you have 3 infielders on the right side of the infield as Schumacher's playing short right field.
Cardinals have won game 1 of each series they've played in since acquiring Matt Holliday.
Pitching around Berkman here, and that's fine if you have the confidence. Of course, Cardinals been very stingy in allowing free passes.
So 4 straight, Berkman is aboard. Tying run is on, and the potential go-ahead run will come to the plate in Carlos Lee. That's where it gets a little dangerous.
That's the first walk here tonight, and the Cardinal pitching staff, Major League high, 15 games this season in which they have not walked a batter. But
Lee, by the way, 7 for 30, 233 average against Franklin. Cardinals have not won a game this year, 1-0. Let's hope it changes tonight.
Falling behind here to Lee, very dangerous hitter, but Franklin usually with great command keeping balls out of the middle of the plate.
Lee, right center. That'll stay in the park, and the Cardinals win it 1-0. Ryan Franklin gets the save. Wainwright the win. The Cardinals, their 73rd win of the season. 1-0 the final here tonight.